come too far over the river. This is a simple disruption to Centaur Solvent. Should be the first blood for Virtus Pro. Arrow will fly in perfectly. They get the star ball off, and it will be no one that claims the first blood in the mid.
Yep, and VP welcomes the invitation to come on their side of the map and destroy the Alchemist. And no stacks for the Alchemist, an early death before level 6, slowing him down a lot, especially right before the 4-minute spawn. So, no rune. At least he still has that reservoir ward up in mid, didn't get rewarded, but...
Hard to see when that smoke gang happens, but this Alchemist, you don't really care. Bottom lane, you probably care more about this. In July, being open wounds up, burning, has rotated down, but his timing for this is a little bit too late. So Solo is able to walk off. That's a very low Centaur. Pasha actually went down to 5 HP when he was doing his farming, so almost gets himself denied as well. That wasn't part of his plan.
I like the way that they round out the items on the Weaver. He's going for a Blightstone, so this saves Lifestealer another item. They always have a way to augment the Lifestealer's damage. Last game with the Amp, this game with a little bit of minus armor from the Weaver.
A little concern for VP just how much space this Luna's getting. Now attacking into the tier 1 tower. Once Pasha's healed up, okay, he's not even waiting to heal. He's got his Tranquil Boots anyway. Jumps straight to the top lane. This is good chip damage into the tier 1 tower, and when this happens, VP have to actually commit resources, or else the Alchemist just continues to free farm. Bottom lane, a little bit of chip.
They're not slowing down the Lifestealer's farm at all. He's still well above 30 CS in his early game.
The only concern is just how much that CS really balances out with iG.Vit, with the net worth.
Well, Alchemist isn't getting bounty runes, nor is he getting a lot of CS in the mid, and he's also not getting stacks. So I think it's going very, very well. This is not going to be a super hot Alchemist start. He doesn't even have any pieces of his armlet yet. Instead, going for the early raindrop on the Alchemist.
In July, what rune does... Okay, Lil's going to get himself an illusion rune. Not exactly what he wants for a kill, but it may just be enough anyway. The Beatles are down. Burning has to help get rid of that. So In July can survive, but no. Lifestealer moves over. Gets one, then open wounds into Q under the tier 1 tower. Virtus Pro currently flawless on the kill board at 4-0.
This offlane has just been a disaster for them. Q was trying to block the Lifestealer so he wouldn't have to... so he would try and save the Batrider, but then he just gave away his own life, and now the supports are really highly leveled. Like, I think Weaver has had a lot of success because his safe lane has just always gone their way. And he's almost level 5 as a support Weaver against a dual lane.
This kind of sacrifice makes more sense now from iG.Vit. Just don't fully sack the offlane, let Burning pull it back, soak up some experience himself, get to his level 6, and let the Batrider have mid. Alchemist is still very happy to be inside the jungle. Now bottom lane, SD Disruption. Oh, okay. Well, it was nice until Burning gets initiated on. Solo doesn't die to the tower, just gets back to the other side of the tree line. And back to safety. But you're going to get more out of this laning phase without risking as much if you're iG.Vit making this choice.
So what are iG Vitality going to do? They need to get some more gold and create some space for the Alchemist, so they can opt to push with the Luna. Seems to be their option at the moment.
They've got the tower. Attempted denial by Pasha. You don't want to be fighting this iG.Vit. Support's coming in, but maybe if you got the Eclipse and an isolated Centaur, you actually find the kills before support can arrive from Virtus Pro. They TP the tier 2 tower. That's why it took a little bit longer for both Lil and Solo to arrive.
That's a very greedy play from Pasha. He didn't have a Stampede. He used it to help the Lifestealer out on getting those kills on the bottom rune. And doesn't really quite have the items yet to tank a full Eclipse.
So now you give money to a Luna who's already top of the net worth by giving her a kill. And Luna, without that tier 1 tower on the top lane for Virtus Pro, has pretty much free reign of her own jungle once the Alchemist leaves it. A nice Solarity hit in the middle, but it's nice done, but no follow-up.
Yeah, they just need to be concerned about the stacks on both sides. iG Vitality, they definitely need more ancient stacks, definitely need more stacks for the Batrider. Just stack, stack, stack.
If they can get that farm up. Obviously, the Alchemist had to soak up so much, so that's why the Batrider can't get the big injection, but once Global Silence is up, VP is still concerned. And you said it yourself, right? VP, they're the ones who are forced to actually attack. they're the ones that have to go into iG.Vit, while iG.Vit are very happy to sit back and passively farm.
At the same time, iG.Vitality do need to open up the map a little bit more just so they have more places to farm. You don't see an Alk and a Luna pairing too often just because they occupy a lot of the same camps and do a lot of the same duty in terms of their farming patterns and techniques. So,
well, can iG.Vit start doing that once you have Global Silence? Is that the critical ability you're waiting for?
I would say it's actually more so nighttime that they need to wait for. Luna and Night Stalker both very, very strong. They're in nighttime. They need to be able to get like the jumps on the heroes before they pop their instant cast Sakuchi, instant cast Rage. These defensive abilities are just way more likely to actually be used during the daytime before they can get the jump on them. So I think nighttime is going to be really nice for them.
Burning again is forced just to mop up pieces when Virtus.pro started harassing their tier 1 towers.
Moonlight Shadow's up. Looks like they're perhaps setting up for a move relatively soon. Last game, we were waiting on the Star Blink Dagger. This game, not really too much to wait for, I suppose.
You guys smoked up Stampede into Disruption with Catcher, and that's a very hot Catcher as well from Solo. You went for a 2-3 build into this Shadow Demon.
And the same smoke around, and Sakata will retreat.
He's going down
south. Yeah.
It's the worst time, actually. A bounty rune gets scoured in the bottom river, so Sakata just goes down to grab it.
But they still get the ward, so at least getting something out of the smoke to perhaps gank a stack. But I think it's going to be very difficult for them to take a fight. They're wasting a lot of daytime. It's been 2.5 minutes of daytime and nothing really to show for it. While iG.Vitality grouped up as a ball yet again, minus the Alchemist this time.
Here's the Moonlight Shadow. Does iG.Vit realize what's going on? They're already in the way out with the Stampede forward. Darkness gets triggered out by Q. He will be disrupted up. The arrow's on the way in, and it actually misses. He walks to the side, but the Stomp from Pasha still does the work, so Night Stalker will die.
I still think that iG.Vitality get way more out of this. Alchemist, he sees all those heroes on bottom, he's like, great, this is awesome.
That means I can farm up the mid lane. The Luna can TP up to the top lane in a second. That's a creep wave and a half, if not 2 full creep waves for her to farm.
And got another stack off. Look at that large, juicy, ancient stack of double dragons.
Instead, though, iG.Vit, they hold on the bottom lane. VP are forcing into the tier 1 town. Fortifications up, this all stall up a little bit of time. Paparazzi just loose and beam harassing. They still have to get rid of all these illusions. Plus the catapult. And Ramsey's coming in close, going to get silenced up in July. Looking for that opening just to get a little bit closer, but what's he really going to find? Ramsey's the primary target. Lasso is inside the Rage. Q's able to get the distance as well, get rid of that bug. He's the lowest line for iG.Vit, but it's Ramsey's in tree line. They're surrounding him. Defensive disruption. The Firefly is still down. The silence of the Centaur. He can't stop, he can't control. Lifestealer's gone. Centaur will join him. Lil trying to pick up Burning in the back lines. Lil will be able to find the kill, but he doesn't need the Sentry Ward. The damage! He's out of vision! So far away! 18 HP! No creep can't deny him. Back into Invis. The Glaze won't bounce. Lil still hiding, looking to deny himself up to Roshan, but it will be the death of Solo. So 4 heroes from Virtus.pro will die here. 1 will be denied, and 3 will be probably killed. Back. Lil actually still had a TP. He actually gets a TP back to base. There's still a 3-for-1 trade-off.
They were not able to save that lifesteal there. No Stampede used, and that's a fight that you do not want to lose. This is them pressuring 5-on-4. They really wanted the T1 tower at IG with a staunch defense there, and that is pretty much just the way for Alchemist Radiance. And like, normally losing a fight is bad, but losing a fight like that while being outnumbered.
Yeah. It's the 5th one you mentioned. You can actually fight 5v4, hold your tier 1 tower, and you get better trade-offs.
That was even like pretty good play by Lil too. He tanked most of the clips and then time walk it off, or time lapse it off. But the Lifestealer dying too early in the fight, and I think Batrider came from the right angle.
This Alchemist are getting so fat. 9k net worth, the highest ever on VP, belongs to no one at 5.6.
Yeah, now it's nighttime. How did they actually get the jump? Lifestealer actually has to be scared because they jumped him first the last fight. And if he gets silenced, you're going to have to blow disruption early, and then he's going to be in a terrible position just waiting to get lassoed into iG's gripping hands.
It's got that odd time right for VP. VP are normally used to pushing that tier 1 tower and bot with the Lifestealer +1. Well, yeah, initiation with disruption, arrow flies over, is able to connect, global silence, the follow-up is there, so there's no starfall, there's no burst damage, but at the same time, Alchemist does have his chemical rage, TP support's on the way over, so the Alchemist will drop. Burning couldn't arrive in time.
That's a huge kill for them. And maybe just not expecting them to have sentry wards with that smoke. It's not really something that you expect in the Alchemist, especially when they took the fight on the bottom side of the map. You'd expect them to have more vision around there, maybe the one right next to Roshan.
You still lose the tier 1 tower on bot. Trade-off is Lil doing heavy damage to the top. Pasha's holding behind him with a little bit of extra support. Okay, the trade-off will actually be a tier 1 tower in 2.
I like this Hurricane Pike pickup from the Luna. Last game he went for a Yasha Manta first, but this game he can just rely on the Alchemist to farm and do the majority of the damage, maybe even get pulled and Ags later, and all they need to do is kite the Lifestealer. That's one thing that they did not do well last game at all, because the Force Staff came much later.
iG.Vit have to protect this stack of theirs. Sakata's moving over right now. Uprise can sit on the hill and do his little thing. He's got 4 points up in Glaives. The dream timing for Luna, and of course the normal build. But you want most of this to go into the Alchemist. That's just a huge injection of money. You finished up the Radiance flying on the Courier at the moment. But everybody just gets a little bit of experience from it. It's actually giving the rest to Luna. Okay, so Luna will take everything else straight.
Yeah, he already has the Radiance, so he can power farm anywhere he wants, pretty much.
Okay, I take it all back. He's now taking almost every single one apart from one of the Black Dragons.
And on the flip side, we have no one who just completed his scepter.
I don't know if that was intentional, or if the Luna's just getting frustrated. The Alchemist was taking his last as he force-staffed him out. Trying to get him away from the Ancients. Bottom lane rotation, Ramsey's very much isolated. The Stampede trying to get him into the tree lines so he can TP out under the cover of Rage. Lasso is the only thing in July, can't get there in time. So the Stampede movement speed gets them away from the initiation.
What a timely scan too. They scanned a little bit to the right of Observer Ward, kind of where Luna is right now, and it hit red. As soon as he did that, he trucked it to the right side. Only thing that can stop him is Lasso at the moment.
But Batrider just didn't have the speed. He went for the drums and tranquils, doesn't have the blink dagger just yet. But iG.Vit are going to start their push with the Radiance up. VP won't really want to be fighting into this.
Yeah, only 1,000 gold behind for VP. That's, I would say, a big victory for them, being up versus an Alchemist. I think like 4,000 is probably par at this point versus an Elk.
As long as they can keep him down. No one was able to find a lot of farm too. He jumped into the jungle for a short period of time and now sits at 7.5k.
Yeah, it's super important that Mirana has this amount of armor to creep skip as much as she is doing right now, because Lifestealer, he can't get kited. He needs a secondary source of damage, a little bit from the Weaver, but mostly from the Mirana.
Interesting smoke maneuver. So iG.Vit are already using the Alchemist as bait, solo, aiming close to Sakatara in the mid, but doesn't find his opening. And in July, Firefly, they forced off him with the lead. Global Silence had come out just a fraction of a second earlier there from Burning to stop that escape from no one. So now with Global Silence down, iG.Vit are the ones on the defense.
Ooh, that was close. If Global Silence maybe came out 1 second earlier, they would have gotten that kill, but VP now very willing to take a fight. Blink Dagger on Centaur. Infest.
They have to get out of the jungle.
Yeah, they got to get out. He has a TP scroll. He could haste over and maybe play a little bit greedy. Moonlight Shadow, they're set up. Luna looks to be the target that they would want to kill, but they are positioned so well on the right side that it's very difficult to blink across that T2 tower.
Alchemist has already left. Like, he pinged down before VP started taking the tier 2, saying, I'm not involved in this. I'm going to go down, I'm going to farm bottom lane, going to farm up the Radiant jungle. This is not the time to fight.
Injuly is on the south side of the secret shop, just looking to get one of the backline supports. He doesn't have a blink dagger yet, so his angle of attack is very difficult. They also don't have darkness up, which makes it much more difficult for VP to be caught by surprise.
That's why they're using the Hurricane Pike. Like, Luna was the one that tried to push him in before. It's like, you're not going to get there in time. Let me give you a nudge. Now, Stampede, nice Hurricane Pike away from the Luna. Burning, going to be caught out. Nice little stomp. So Batrider as well as the Silencer will fall. Courier as well. Very low on life. It's got the BTs. For the Alchemist, was flying back down to him, so the BTs do reach the Alchemist.
That's not a fight that they should have been looking to take out. Alchemist, as you mentioned, had already TP'd on the bottom lane. They don't have a couple of their ultis up, and maybe like just having one hero out that you can force stab just to waste a little bit more of their time. But ideally, Alchemist would be beating on towers, stealing some stacks, and not losing a T2 and 2 heroes on the side of IG.
And then actually gets to push the gold up the way of VP. As you see them getting the advantage in the trades, the biggest experience gain advantage they've had so far in this matchup.
And Weaver is also transitioning very nicely into a core. So Lifestealer, Luna, these won't be the biggest players in the game perhaps when it gets late.
And iG.Vit, they need a better answer. Straight up farming isn't going to do it for you at the moment. But how do you force a fight with what you've got? You got to find space for In July, but In July, I suppose he's forced down to the bottom lane to find this farm. But Alchemist is just soaking up so much on the map.
They might go for a kill on Lil.
Well, the Alchemist moves in first. You do have that little rotating Night Stalker and a trigger up Darkness. He needs to get that instant silence. Doesn't have it. Sentry Ward's down, so they see where he runs, but into the trees. Alchemist will stun himself. There's Lil. Even Armor bugs him up and tries to turn and do some damage. Support's rotating in for VP, but it's Q who's left behind trying to get rid of the bug and then start his TP. All of that took way too long. And the Night Stalker burns his Darkness as well as his life.
And another big wasted rotation from iG.Vitality.
Ramsey's going into the mid. If he really thinks he can kill off the Luna, but slips in behind the lines.
Now they just need to prioritize the blink on the Batrider. Like, these games are way too sloppy, and Weaver, probably unbeknownst to iG.Vitality, is not building the Lincolns, so he can be a prime lasso target.
But with that diffusal, now silence, it doesn't really do that much to him.
Nor Night Stalker. So I actually do think you lasso him. You might have to lasso the Lifestealer, however, during the rage, so your team doesn't get destroyed.
You talk about the issue that almost every single team has had with Virtus Pro. What do I do when Lil plays his Weaver? Easy damage to kill the Batrider. Like, do I really want to commit that many abilities for Lil Weaver?
Probably. You have 4 staffs for the Lifestealer, but these need their lanes to be pushed out a little bit more. It's super safe just farming out with Alchemist, Radiance Illusions. You're at very little risk of dying unless they smoke past them. But right now, it's just all of iG.Vitality trying to farm as much as they can on the map.
He's making his rotation. He's going to find a courier. He's actually got Tome of Knowledge plus the Yasha on it. As he missed his time to attack, wasn't ready to see it, so all of this will be delivered. So VP will have the bottom tower.
So now Paparazzi is actually on the Radiant side of the map, farming the Radiant jungle. So they're still getting a decent amount of gold, but not enough to overcome this lead in VP.
He needs another 500. He needs his BKB before this fight begins, but VP are all ready to go.
No one's even there.
They have to start TPing back now. So the Luna will arrive. Quick glyph, but the tower's already down to 2/3 life, burning with a little quick curse over on Ramses. Doesn't have a way to break free. So they will force him back out the bot lane. And the Mana Style has managed to be farmed up on the Alchemist, so the split push is going to slowly begin for iG.Vit. And that's something which VP doesn't have a very quick and easy answer to. They can get rid of the creep waves with the Mirage, of course.
Their cores are very efficient at farming, though. So I wouldn't worry about it too much over VP just yet.
Maybe once some BTs are picked up, VP will feel more comfortable with it.
But the net worth by the Batrider
found Pasha out of position, so In July runs Flame Break. Is going to keep him there. The lasso will be committed. Maybe they're worried about Stampede Escape or something along those lines, but they get themselves a bit of a freebie thanks to the Observer Ward that saw everything just above the secret shop.
And finally, In July will have his Blink Dagger.
That took way too long, but it's still 22 minutes. He's just been so close to it for so long. Moonlight Shadow from VP. Looks like it's time for them to try and have a crack at Roshan. They look for the Ancients with an arrow. The Observer Ward will see burning as the Starfall. Well, it misses to start with, but burning still very fragile, so easy to kill, even with missed abilities. But now iG.Vit understand that VP are looking down towards Roshan.
And a very underrated part about Weaver is that his bugs are very, very good against Roshan, just tanking a lot of hits and reducing his armor. He's a natural medallion carrier that certainly aids. And iG.Vitality looks like they're trying to group up to take out this.
They're too late.
Rally them out of Roche, but yeah.
They're actually just too late.
They're scanning right inside the Roche pit, and of course it pings green because it doesn't.
Yeah, you can't scan Roshan. So the smoke arrives, but it's all too late. So the Alchemist de-illusions walk straight back through iG.Vit.
And no one is the one that they're looking to gank, but he already has Aegis. This could be a disaster if they initiate on him.
And they can't initiate. Lasso was down. At the time Roshan died, it was still on cooldown for another 18 seconds. And when they had a small moment there to initiate a Mirana, it was still on cooldown for another 10.
It's a byproduct of them losing so many towers. All the T1s and the T2s on the bottom side of the map.
They have an opening for Ramses. They don't see him. Small. The Observer Ward does, but it's already too late in July. Turn to the right, so they're going to 4-star him down with a Blink Dagger. He still can't get in range. iG.Vit, they're trying. They're trying, but they just can't find that opening against VP.
Just a tick too slow. In every mark. And wow, Mirana is very farmed. She had, I think, what, 16, 17 minute ags into a very quick blink and BKB.
At the same time, Lil completes up an entire solo cast. There's so much maneuverability coming out from Virtus Pro.
And the IG cores are also very hesitant about split pushing out lanes, knowing that an Infest Bomb could always await them.
There's still one major problem, which is there for VP. Pushing into the high ground is not the easiest thing in the world, but also keeping the Alchemist from gaining net worth. Yeah. Also quite difficult. If they shut down everyone else, that probably won't matter as much. But the Lunar is still sitting at the second highest net worth on the field.
And in July, looking to cut a creep wave, they want to be able to push with his Aegis, and they have no creeps. And if he cuts this wave, that's going to buy them a good few minutes of time. There is that one creep wave that's heading to them, but all they need to do is clear that out. But the last time they pushed, they used a glyph very, very late, so their T3 is still at half HP.
So maybe it is enough to chip it.
Yeah, this one wave has to die for IG Vitality.
Alchemist is already coming back. TP's very defensively, so he doesn't just get the acid spray down straight away, but able to send the Mantra illusions in. No one, double Starfall, almost enough to kill off the illusions. Now the creep wave is gone. As you said, there is no secondary wave. So VP, and they keep the attack going just long enough, keep that backdoor off? No, they can't.
Not if Angeli's there again, nice. And a second TP will scare him away.
Hey, he didn't actually have his Firefly this time around, so the creep wave didn't follow or burn. But the top lane was pressured in. That's where the Alchemist continued to find his farm. Now 700 away from having the Octarine.
So that's a good half of the Aegis already wasted. By some creep cutting. Ooh, invest inside the Mirana.
That's a different target, but when she's got Blink and Leap, she's the best one to get front lines next to the Centaur.
And that's the same as Everward that was placed last game. And will get a lot of vision and no signs of a gem yet. And daytime they have to be very, very scared. And Angeli's not there to creep cut this time. Neither are the Alchemist Illusions. So this time with, what, 2 minutes left on the Aegis, looks like it's going to be a huge brawl. This T3 is too low for them to ignore.
iG.Vit's getting ready to fight. The arrow only hits on one of the illusions. With a flame break, they push no one in close. Starts taking that tick damage from the flame break. Watch that count timer on the Aegis. Not too much longer. As it sprays off cooldown in 2 seconds as well, so here starts your concoction. Just throws it out, ends up actually hitting the Mirana with the curse and the flame break. No one's dropping down low, but remember, it's as Aegis Timor that will trick the Pasha initiates while the Mirana is down. They turn on the Eclipse, now disengage from Virtus Pro, trying to run away. The Centaur will of course die, they only lasso onto Ramses. His Infest is off cooldown, he needs a target. That's why no one's coming in close. He'll BKB and take him away. Solo with the disruption, keeping Q out. Paparazzi, a quick Hurricane Pike will dodge the arrow. But Centaur did drop pretty quickly, and that could be more disastrous for Virtus Pro if iG.Vit could control and kill the Life Stealer.
And too much burn damage. Their lineup isn't really equipped to siege high ground. Normally, you either want like a really capable siege engine and with the Shadow Demon illusions, but neither Life Stealer nor Mirana are really good targets. Maybe the Centaur, if you were more farmed, you could just return illusions. Actually, you can't do that anymore. So yeah, they don't have a really good way to siege high ground. Or you have infinite sustain with like a pipe, so you can tank these Alchemist illusions. But the Alchemist is like almost double the net worth of most people in the game. So it's no easy task, especially with their heroes, to take these illusions down and just not get burned down before you even start the fight. Mirana had already lost her Aegis.
As this Alchemist starts to get closer, or they find an opening, it's Weaver. Q, the dust will come, but Lil is on the run away from this fight. The Alchemist gets sorted every single person from iG.Vit. Every time they get an Aegis, that's that new power spike. Maybe not so huge when you look at like a Batrider's lasso effect, but getting the vision out from the Night Stalker, the global silence upgrade, having Luna having so much more damage with that Eclipse without having to put herself at risk all the time. Bottom lane, oh, that's a very quick death of Burning. No one and Weaver teaming up together and Burning too far out. Maybe thought he was still one.
Very easy kill. I wonder what Mirana's going to transition into next. Whether it's going to be like a Dagon EB build is pretty common, but I don't think it's particularly great at dealing with the Alchemist illusions, or perhaps a right-click build with Chrysalis, Butterfly, Maelstrom, one of those.
Would you go that way, or do you almost prefer like Magical Nuke, get rid of those Alch illusions nice and quick, keep your own up? Right now he's actually got the Void Stone on him.
Probably Magical Nuke, I think. I think even if he goes for a right-click build, they'll still lose out in the game because of all the Ags pulling. Alchemist's actually going for a Blade Mail.
It works really nicely for this situation.
Yeah. They don't have the best burst. Maybe if they get an arrow on him, they can kill him, but...
he just turns on the Blade Mail. It's like, please fight me. Please Starfall.
I think the thing about the Alchemist too is he's like worried that they might lose the game right now. If they lose the game right now, then he can't save it for an AC, can't save it for a Shiva. So all he needs to do is... they scan out Ramses, and he's around there.
There's a smoke gank. Someone's taking range and they want to stop it. iG.Vit on the move.
They still know that he's around there. He's an infest up, but going up this hill.
They're out of vision of the Avert Ward. Blink Lasso, they catch out the Weaver with Elusive Beam, hold him in position, actually committing the global silence. Kill off the support Weaver. And instantly transition into a mid push. iG.Vit now on the aggressive. 30-minute in has taken them this long to start beating into a tier 2 tower. They're very quick when they do it.
And Lil's a significant chunk of their net worth, 10,000.
Can buy back. This is available. But then Ramses. Okay, the question mark is here. Now, do VP actually have enough high ground defense? And Mirana's trying to build into a Lincoln Sphere, so right now it doesn't really have many stats. And with the stunts, Ramses has to rage and start the armlet toggle. This chip is working beautifully for iG.Vit. If they can bring down the tier 3 tower, Luna becomes so much more powerful. Look for these glaives to bounce around. You get a copy on the Alchemist, or at least you've got him. Pasha jumping in too. They push the Alchemist in deep, but with the Eclipse turning on, it's really only the illusions. But now the glaives will start doing their work as well. Fortification's been burnt, the arrow hits the Alchemist, pushing further away, can't armor toggle through it, iG.Vit will be repelled, Burning will die, no one wants to get more kills however, with the slow one in July, is that Diffuser Blade charge going to work, iG.Vit lose 3, and only one of them has buyback, and that is the Alchemist.
And they didn't even get the melee racks, still sitting at around 30% HP, but surely to be regioned up by the next time they go up that hill. And fortunately for iG Vitality, there is no Roshan respawn. It's about 10 minutes and 10-15 seconds, so another couple minutes left.
Yep, 1.5, that should do it. Here, quick TP out, Lil's gonna find him. But right now, VP want to attack into the mid lane. If they possibly can do it, or they rotate into the bottom, that tower is very, very low, so Ramsey can do it by himself. But the rest of VP will come, fortification triggered with the tower at 17 HP. And iG.Vit, they'll buy back now on the Alchemist, so the tower will fall.
That's what.
The VP,
20 seconds left on his buyback.
Yeah, they just want to make sure this Rax doesn't get hurt. And he can get a decent amount of the money back anyway through greed.
And now VP will control that secret shop area. They don't have that observer reward that they normally have to the north side of the shop.
So let's actually have a quick look back at this. So this is the Mirana defense. This is no one. Trying to keep everybody out. Hits the sweetest arrow possible. And then the chase is good. Realizing too he can go for that third.
Yeah, they just didn't have much left in the tank after that. So, good few minutes before nighttime is up. iG Vitality actually have not been making the best use of it. But at the same time, VP's just been pressuring them a lot during the daytime. But have to stay around the Roche pit. We see the Ags coming out on Pasha very, very soon. He still does not have a way to get out of the global, so it doesn't seem to be the biggest threat yet. But now with Roshan respawning with fairly high certainty, expect more action to be headed around there.
Yeah, that's why iG.Vit's already on the hunt. But most of the Firefly was burnt out by In July, looking for someone in the tree line. Scan goes out from Virtus Pro on top of Roshan. Now Burning sees Roshan, actually starts the fight. Paparazzi's going to just push himself into the pit now. There's a lot of vision from Virtus Pro. They already had the Observer Ward watching over the mouth of the entrance to Roshan. And a TP up. The BT just got scouted out. He did it literally on top of the Radiant Wave. So VP, if they want to slip into Roshan, they can do so.
Versus Bat.
Yeah.
Very, very tough.
Very dangerous.
But he's not using the Alchemist Illusions to really push out the lanes. So despite having a very farmed Alchemist, the lanes are generally in VP's favor.
I was kind of surprised he didn't use it before. Like, you attack the top lane, you then trigger it or push out. Instead, they smoke in the mid, they're behind the Luna. Paparazzi becomes the bait, and are they actually making a play where Luna pushes the mid and then they turn this into a Rax trade-off? Is that what's actually coming out at the moment?
The creep wave is very, very far away. And they do have that in Reserve Reward. Doesn't see anyone yet. They could catch out Pasha, though.
Here's the creep wave.
Do they have
it arrives, they go in, they look, and they see Solo, so they initiate. They want that SD down. Going to get a buyback is available, but the Rax starts to be assaulted. Moonlight should have been triggered. Pasha jump in with the stun over on Luna. She didn't get a BKB off. Now with the global silence, the melee Rax is down. iG.Vit want to get out of here with as few casualties as possible, but the Alchemist, he can't do it. He's punished. He just can't run. The Eclipse will turn on the damage with the Glaives. Is doing some work. 2 down for Virtus Pro without buyback. But Paparazzi starts his TP. They can't get the arrow. No one can't turn. There's a lot of gunk in that system. So melee Rax claimed by iG.Vit, and they lose the Alchemist without buyback.
Man, iG.Vit really liked that play. Were you watching the China qualifiers, how they beat LG? That's a very similar play. They were on Dire, they smoked up with the Rax down and smoked straight into their base. A very unexpected play. And Solo took that.
He thought he could defend it. 1 point Shadow Poison, pull the creep wave back, couple of illusions, it would have been enough to stall them.
Yeah, if they got that Luna kill, would have been the VP would have been very happy with that. But this is why Batrider's such a top pick. Like the simple napalm on the Mirana, look at her. She's like, oh, I can't.
And then the vision appears. Fraction of a second too late.
The napalm just makes it so much harder for you to turn and cast yourselves like that, though. It's such a nuisance. It's kind of like getting mini stunned every time.
Gotta remember that vision range too. That was actually kind of disgusting.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you want to sacrifice your Alchemist life for that. That's the second consecutive fight that he's died, and Ramses will start on Roshan. They don't have the Weaver there for the minus armor, so it's going to go down a bit slower.
Are they anywhere nearby? Like iG.Vit are a long way out.
They suspect it right now, but I think they're a little bit too far away. Weaver's already closing in, but Roshan's at 25% HP.
They have the smoke for extra movement speed, but it's too late. So the bugs will arrive, the arrow flies up, so they understand what's going on, and then instantly Stampede over the hills. They want to get a kill. Pasha missing on the stomp. iG.Vit, they got some distance. Pasha doing some damage to Burning, but it's still not enough to find the kill. Everyone is out for iG.Vit, Courier included.
If you think Firefly is good.
Stampede balance, boys.
Wow, I'm surprised they just didn't lose everyone. Just not something that you think, oh, Roshan is that, oh wait, they're on top of our Ancient.
That's
already.
The 4 stamps you're talking about. You've got the 2 4 stamps plus the Hurricane Pike up and running. And you've got the Aghanim, which has been gifted to the Night Stalker. So now there's the extra vision. The first Ags has been gifted. So with this vision from Q, they can see the stampeding targets running at them.
Super important. I think they would have just lost the Silencer immediately on the back of the fight. So who do you give Ags next to?
It's got to be the Lunar upgrade, right? Like you need more damage out of her.
Probably, but you also could use a control out from the Batrider.
The double lasso?
Yeah. That could be useful.
Well, for now, iG.Vit will just take the useful kill of the tier 2 tower on bot. Creep wave's coming in a little bit late, so it may not matter. The mid lane keeps pushing in. VP trying to get some space. It's Lil who's taking care of the top. He's so close to that Aghanim Scepter. The 300 gold, and he's got it, but iG.Vit already starting the attack. Okay, he's going to actually sell up so he can get the Aghanim Scepter for this fight. Keep your eyes over on that Weaver. Bottom 3 towers still being chipped out. And they look for a target. They find one. Pasha into line. Blinks away. The Concoction's not keeping the Centaur out. And now with the Blade Mail, they don't want to really fight into this, or do they? Rage expanded. BKB down for the Luna. Arrow again will fly astray. And Sakata attacking into the tier 3 tower.
Very dangerous without the BKB on the Luna, and they still have the Aegis on the side of VP, remember. So deciding to cut their wall. They could lose everyone here if they decided to press.
They want to fight from the high ground. They want to fight from a better position. They know the mid lane's going to push in anyway. The Arrow goes for a bit of a scout. They see a little bit of the back lines. But will they get more? Ramsey stands on the front lines. Now is Raid to wear off with the Eclipse. They need to come in with the Starfall. Is there going to be enough damage? The Glaze bounce around. VP taking too much damage. They need to foul out of here. Ramsey's is down. You've brought down the Alchemist too, but you lose Lil in the tree line. And iG.Vit with a buyback coming out from the Alchemist. He actually TP's into the creep wave. They're not all out home and host yet. No one caught. The Aegis, the Immortal will trigger. His blink tag will be up cooldown as he comes back to life again. Can they control him? The BKB, the leap to Starfall. He needs more speed, he needs more distance. 2 seconds, 1 second, the urn charges on him. He can't blink into the tree lines. Even if the BTs are available for him, he's on the run, wasting the time of Virtus Pro. While they chase him, they're not taking racks. TP begins, but the loser feed will cancel it. No one is down. Bites back straight away. Here to defend the bottom lane. That's where the Alchemist is pressuring. The creep wave, however, is not inside the base, so the backdoor regeneration is stopping iG.Vit from taking the objective they want dearly.
And only 25 seconds left on the lifesteal respawn. This might not be enough for IG Vitality to seal the deal.
They may just try and force the global silences off cooldown in 20 seconds time. They'll have that, but the smoke is over on Solo as well as Pasha. They want the opening. Fortification buys more time. No one. Blink into Starfall, leap straight back out again, try and slow down the creep wave, but now the Glaives, they really start having a big effect. Pasha doesn't manage to get the stomp off, the BKB protection, and Luna, the TP away, gets what he wants, away with murder. Burning will die, but it's an acceptable casualty. The Arrow, wow, dodging at the last second. Extra TP completion, iG.Vit get out. Burning, your only sacrifice.
Oh, that was what a pleasure to watch IG Vitality push high ground like that, and the BKB dodge from the Luna, all eyes on the melee Rex, and she forced that a little bit away just so she could TP out safely, making great use of that BKB. And they had such a small window to do that, and it's very similar to how VP pushed high ground and Alchemist bought back with 20 seconds left on his respawn timer, and maybe they should have done the same. Actually, they didn't have it in the lifestealer, but it was still just a tiny window for them to work with.
iG.Vit, they're playing some of the smartest Dota we've seen of this entire Boston Major. Finally, the Alchemist is going to 6-slot himself out. So while he might think about a Moonshard, he ends up selling off the Blade Mail, picks the Shiva's card instead. Already gave one Aghanim Scepter over, so one for me, one for you.
And maybe the Batrider isn't the best idea because of the time lapse. He used a time lapse on the last target last fight. It didn't end up saving the lifestealer, but it was still a nice touch.
Only the Alchemist illusions they run through. Oh no! No one initiated on the Alchemist illusion. The one that went backwards. It didn't break anything, but it was the Moonlight Shadows. So you can't really know it like you do with smoke.
Yeah, and IG Vitality, they just need to weather the storm during the daytime, or just wait for Night Stalker ult to be up. It's so hard for VPs to take a fight. It's very hard to jump the Silencer. It's very hard to jump Luna before she pops her BKB.
And she's going to complete a Skadi pretty soon as well, so then she's going to have even more sustain.
Yep. Yes, she is. And Lifestealer, this is about the time where you don't feel as effective as a Lifestealer, just because everyone has their items and scales so much better. Luna has +6 saves, and what does Lifestealer have? Just a little bit of lifesteal from the feast. That's percentage based, but in terms of straight scaling, not that much, especially when he's forced to go much defensive with the AC. No Basher, no Abyssal, no MKB.
So iG.Vit, the ones in control, but well, we already felt like we had that position before. This is a very different scenario, however.
This is much safer for them because they have so much more wiggle room. They have much more wiggle room because they have a lot more farm, and also they don't have the amp damage to instantly kill people. The Weaver takes a lot more time to ramp up with the Swarm and the double hit from Sakuchi. Like, all these take a lot more time, and he just doesn't have the right-click damage.
Didn't even see a little bit really that effective. I thought with the Aghanim Scepter, it was iG.Vit who got denied the kill, but never even felt the influence of that Ags in the last fight.
Yeah, it briefly broke the lasso, but it suffers in the fact that what if everyone on your team is taking damage? What if Luke is just cleaving everyone down. What if everyone's getting hit by Eclipse with no creeps around? She can only do so much. And if you do that, you can't actually time-lapse yourself, so you can't really go in as deep as you want to. The cooldown's very low, but not low enough to use it twice in short of a span.
iG.Vit's coming once more. Top lane's pushing out for them. It's not as far out as they would like.
It's nighttime though. This is where they just need to. It's very easy for VP to make a mistake, and it's very hard for IG Vitality to be caught off guard now. And then they can just wait it out until the Roche spawn if they really want to feel safe. But in the meantime, if they don't, they can just try and pressure with this superior vision and the gem on the Night Stalker.
They can wait 50 gold now. In fact, now no gold, because Alchemist found a bounty rune. The secondary act is on its way. And we'll see who he chooses. Is it going to be the control of the Batrider? Is it the increase of the magical damage of the Luna, not to mention the increase of stats that come along with it?
I think the Luna. That Eclipse is ridiculous. Although, maybe you don't want to all in on it because of the Centaur ultimate. He can just use it to somewhat counter the Eclipse.
Angela is hugging. He wants it. Him. It's the Batrider. So the Batrider is now just over 1900 in his life with the Ether Lens and the double lasso. VP could find both of their cores taken out by this, and that's what iG.Vit are looking for.
And how do VP fend off this? First, they're trying to set up with an observer ward right outside their base. That's how oppressive the one right next to their T3 tower. That's how oppressive the Night Stalker vision is. Like you just can't see anything.
But that's going to go down the second Night Stalker gets in close. VP saw the TP of the Alchemist again. It's been happening a lot from Sakata. He just keeps jumping back into the lane in perfect vision. And but VP come out, they look for a fight. They think there's an opportunity where the fight will be 4v5.
And no BKB on the Batrider, so maybe he can be bursted down by the Mirana. I think that's a hero that you actually want to kill very early on in the fight, or else Napalm and the Flame Break is just very difficult to maneuver around in the fights.
But without counter push, no one's been having to be expending his double Starfall just to get rid of a creep wave.
Yep.
And even that's not effective enough.
Let's see if Angelai can get a jump over here.
He was hoping for one.
Yeah, they need to deward that observer ward. I don't think that Night Stalker has caught glimpse of it. He hasn't been in gem range just yet.
Yeah, it's too far away. A little bit deceptive, where his night vision is actually bigger than the true side of the gem.
And Burning dropping some vision on the right side just in case VP wrap around, but with the Night Stalker vision and no smoke, it should be very clear as to where they are.
It's chip time. If VP can defend this, maybe they have a chance. Roshan's a minute away, but they'll need to win this fight pretty convincingly in order to do such a thing. And they're still having the issue of the other lane's bottom and mid pushing in. Alchemist takes a lot of damage with the stuns. Global silence being used to allow Alchemist to retreat away. Not to mention SD Illusion's actually working really well. It's actually copying the Luna. Fighting against him. Now the lasso is out, but quickly again. Lil on the money. Able to get that time-lapse out thanks to the Aghanim Scepter. Useful for his allies. And iG.Vit will back out. They're playing safe.
They cannot underestimate the Soul Catcher. The Soul Catcher almost killed Alchemist. 50% damage from this heavy of a burst from Mirana can just stop you. And it's not like he has BKB. It's not like any of his teammates have Glimmer Capes. So if he takes burst, he's just going to straight up die.
Very problematic. iG.Vit, they know what's at stake. There's no reason to risk the fight. They back out. They wait for the next Roshan, which now will be spawned up. So they can grab the Aegis Immortal. This gives them a little bit more of a license to push and a little bit more of a safety net with potentially the Luna. Is where your eyes can go for this. Maybe Burning. He's taking a hell of a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure who you give it to. I think the cores are actually too farmed.
Luna would have to drop a Mana Star in order to pick it up herself.
Yeah, she dropped her Pike, but that's been pretty important for her.
Q will take the cheese. Maybe they just wait for her to die. Burning is now the carrier of the Hurricane Pike.
And now they have to fend off one heavy lane seed from these two farm heroes, as well as Manta Illusions on both the side lanes. Shadow Demon is actually pretty good against this. He can disrupt the Manta Illusions and have pretty strong ones himself, but their base is just in shambles right now.
It's like Sakata's actually building a different item. I think that's actually... Is he going for a heart? Normally you think maybe he's just going to go for another Aghanim set with another 5k gold sitting in his bank account.
It could be an Abyssal.
I think it's only... Yeah, that would work.
It's more likely to be an Abyssal, because, or else you'd buy... yeah, I think it's Abyssal.
We're going off the Vit booster, which is on the Dire Courier. That's what we're looking at the moment.
I don't think you want to get off hard versus the Lifestealer.
It's a straight Abyssal Blade.
So, this way, they can keep the Lifestealer off of the Luna. Now that he has MKB, the Luna has to be slightly worried about getting bursted down. Not too worried, though.
Luna's got to start worrying about being copied all the time. Her illusions are doing more work right now, and here it is again, Salt. Linked in for the Bat Rider! Lazo, we caught two! Turning over global silence, Time-Lapse can only save one. And well, Pasha was not that one, but burning the damage output again is the SD illusion. They go back in again for the fight, maybe with the Rage Lifestealer and the exact damage. He tanks through most of it. Pasha back in after the buyback, gets it on over on the Luna, and iG.Vit are in retreat. They force off out. Sakata, is there enough damage? He only triggers the Lincoln Sphere with concoction. So iG.Vit, they lose 3. None of them have buyback. It's no one with a triple kill. But the lanes are in disarray. The mid and the bottom still pushing heavily.
And this is pretty tense. Like, even at the start of the fight, do you see how Shadow Demon just blipped in the middle of them, down the hill, and disrupted the Luna? Because he knows that if he gets that off, he's just doing so much damage at the fight. And they were able to kill the Luna. They tank the Eclipse very, very easily. The Stampede actually just makes them almost unkillable, so that Lifestealer can just straight run in on the Luna and have 100% uptime on her.
So this 5-man maneuver from iG.Vit, we've seen it fail, and we know why it fails. What's the game plan? Is it split? Like, obviously you gotta survive this push to start with.
First you force out a Luna buyback. Once you force out a Luna buyback, you try and kill her one more time, which I think can easily be done.
VP, here they come in. They look at the range racks. Arrow flies in, burning. Don't play a game of catch. Manages to dodge it, but the bottom racks completely mopped up. VP started this whole shebang about 25 minutes ago, and now they have to get more. 40 seconds until Alchemist is up. Luna still not gonna buy back. iG.Vit, they're going to accept the casualty of 2 lanes of racks. Thanks to tier 2 tower up on top lane, VP can't go for much more unless they are thinking about going for tier 4 towers. But no, they take the melee and they're going to retreat. This will balance out the lanes for them.
And I don't really know who has the lead right now. IG Vitality, like, Alchemist has been capped for quite some time now, and their cores are dying to this very, very farm Lifestealer, and they can still push out the lanes because of the Mirana, and they can tank in the team fight because of the Centaur. So, that fight, there was a very good last step from the Bat Rider. But Time-Lapse gets rid of one.
And the fact you actually had the instant buyback available for Pasha. Like, VP were ready. They knew what they had to sacrifice to win that fight.
And that was with the help of the Aegis. So I think they actually just need to straight kill the Shadow Demon at the start. Shadow Demon or Last Wing of the Weaver would both be pretty good for them. If they can actually keep 2 heroes inside the lasso and burst them down with a BKB Eclipse, I think they can win the fight.
Well, right now they're looking for a kill. Whole-man smoke maneuver. Alchemist, the only one not invited to involve, but he can beat into the lane. Maybe not so much when you got Mirana and Lifestealer illusions. Just, well, if you can't find an army of real people, send in the copies.
Yeah, now they use Moonlight Shadow, fully expecting a gank, and
is Q walking in? He's got them a true sight. Remember, this is nighttime, so Q has the better vision. Sees Lil jumping out. Okay, someone's going to have to get rid of that Observer Ward.
Yeah, no one has a quality plate this late.
Well, there's a jump in. Solo once again gets it. And to get the copies of the Luna, they're bailing out with the Purge over on the Luna. The BKB protected from everything they threw at him, but that's the BKB down for Luna. Can iG.Vit forced to disengage VP with a better start to the team fights?
He has to BKB then. If he doesn't, he might get arrowed and then just die. And that would just put IG Vitality in too much compromising position. But now they have 35 seconds without the BKB up on the Luna, but you just see how vulnerable it is and how crucial it is for the Shadow Demon to jump on the Luna and get that disruption off as soon as possible.
Solo almost feels like the modern day Venomancer. If I get my Nova off, life is great. If I get my disruption off, life is great.
Yeah, it just puts way too much pressure on the side of IG Vitality to really feel like they're ahead if that's the way the fight starts off.
All right, iG.Vit, are you going to try and fight this? The tier 2 tower has already dropped. They're looping in around the side. VP does have all 5 arrows coming down as well as the bugs. Paparazzi able to find the gap between both of them. With the 4 staffs, double 4 staffs, pushing iG.Vit forward. Now remember, he doesn't actually have the detection. The Gem of True Sight's over from the Night Stalker, and that's why Mirana E-Blade pops into iG.Vit, losing so much life. But where is its initiation with the global silence? iG.Vit won it. They have placed on the Lifestealer. Armlet is turned off, but now it's VP with the arrow. Find the Alchemist, push him away. He's got his dump, but they're both raged. He'll try and dodge with the Menacer. Won't be successful, but it's still Luna. She must do lifting, and the lasso still not enough work. No one's dropping down low. They make more copies. They can solo with this blink into disruption, making more Lunas. That's the front line. Where the damage? Luna's down. The Alchemist still surviving. The Weaver bugs making life difficult. Not to mention Randy's still on his tail. Abyssal Blade back up cooldown. Buyback is here. Mirana on the front lines with the Acid Spray, punching off with the Mana Style, another stun, finally solo's down, Takasana's done it, maybe he can bring down Randy, yes he can, a triple kill! Serve it up with cheese, iG.Vit wants to keep going. Look for the opening, they found another one, it's Mirana leaping away, but with all these deaths, no buyback available for the Centaur, it's there for the Lifestealer. Ramses will expend the pennies, they have to defend this top lane.
Oh my god, so Kata played so damn well that fight, just kiting at critical HP throughout the entirety and getting a Lifestealer kill at the end. But with no buybacks on the table, Mega creeps within grasp.
But Solo gets more copies, he gets the copies of the Alchemist. iG.Vit hunting, he's got the lasso of jumps in, he found his target, it's the ST, the time lapse, they'll end up saving him from the initiation, they have to keep doing more damage, this Rax must fall, where's the opening, with the stun, Ramses is out, the Glaive is doing work, ST is down, no buyback available, the Rax have fallen, it's not Megas, there's still range Rax left in the mid as well as the bottom, iG.Vit looking to remove that back, but Alchemist, Ramses trying to knock him down with the E-Blade up with the infestation. They find the kill, but Luna still up and fighting. They're focusing on Ramses with the Glaze bouncing around. Lil waiting on the back line. Buyback is here. Alchemist to the front lines. Paparazzi, hold it, take a pin. Will he get it? Lil, so low on life, running out. Q wants to finish him off. Almost found under the tower. He'll bring him down, but the Night Stalker sacrificed himself. Lil has his buyback available. Now it's the Alchemist on the run. Paparazzi needs to make more space, but you've lost the Alchemist into the tree line with the BKB. Is there a TP? There isn't one. No life available. And no buybacks. iG.Vit with only the Batrider as well as the Silencer alive. They're on the ropes for VP.
And it's not even Megas, that one range rack on the bottom and 100 seconds on both the heavy cores on iG Vitality.
But look at iG.Vit. He pushes in through the top lane. He's trying to get VP to look behind him.
He can't Mega them himself.
He can't, but maybe there could be some defense. No one jumps in. There's your E-Blade pop. A quick push away. BT's is available. iG.Vit, he has to give up the ghost. He looks down at Lil, who's already knocking on the iG.Vit well. And are they going? Yeah, they are. They're going for the GG push. And there it is. iG.Vit will call it. VP will eliminate the Chinese Vitality from the Boston Major in a 2-0. But iG.Vit, huge props. They put up one hell of a fight, more than anyone would have thought they could do up against Virtus Pro.